Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is your host, Dr. C, for another grand show from where I sit. We have a lot to talk about. Obviously, Dr. C has some projects he's been working on. The last broadcast we did, we were telling you what I was doing, and so we're going to give you some updates on that, and then, of course, we will get into the news. Now, here is what we are going to be talking about today. Of course, I do have a number of projects that I'm working on. We'll talk about my project Touched, which has been published. It's been out on the market for I would say about a month now, and we have some wonderful news that we're going to talk about with that particular book that's out on the market. We're going to talk about a new book that I had just written last week, how to secure scholarship money for college, step-by-step guide for students and parents. That is also a very important book. And just to give you an idea, I have a my youngest daughter Simone is going to be graduating from high school here at the end of the month. Her graduation ceremony, I believe, is on the 26th. And yes, she is going to want to go to college. Now, uh, I don't want her taking out any student loans, not if I could help it, right? And so I felt like it was important to actually write something about what you could do with your new high school graduates who are wanting to go to college and how you guys can secure some scholarship money for college. So we'll talk about that as well. And yes, I have been talking about trucking across America for quite some time now. And that book is ready to come out this week. I expect it to be hitting Amazon.com live probably by the end of this week. Today is Sunday, so probably by the end of the week, hopefully sooner. We'll talk about Trucking Across America as well. And then we're going to get into a topic that I really want to talk about, and that's the movie Sinners. And I know all of you who tune into the show, I know that a lot of you have gone to sing this movie and you've been talking about it. And so we're going to talk a little bit about Sinners here on today's broadcast. And of course, we'll round up the broadcast with some news, which, by the way, is the same old thing that's been happening. Donald Trump and his regime literally imploding and taking the country down with him. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll sign off and just keep this week's episode a little bit short and sweet. I don't know, probably about 30 minutes, and then we'll start working on a new broadcast. Which, of course, there's always going to be something to talk about. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's get into the broadcast and talking about touch. Now, I've stated, I believe, in our last episode that I originally wrote Touched back in 2003, 2004. I think it came out in 2003, maybe early 2004. So we went on ahead and got this book republished. I got some great news. The book is selling, but we wanted to sell more than what it's doing right now, obviously. And the good news that we have for you is that we're going to be doing some readings from Touched, and we're going to do some book signings. And I have a couple of lined up. I'm just waiting for the finalization. I have a couple of bookstores in the Lawrenceville, Snellville area. If any of you who live in the Atlanta metro and you're familiar with Snellville, Georgia, or Lawrenceville, Georgia, by the way, that's where I live at, Lawrenceville, Georgia. We're going to be doing some book readings or book signings at Barnes and Noble. That's for Touched. And we'll be doing some book readings and book signings for the we'll do for the how to secure scholarship money for college, also at Barnes and Noble. And we'll also do some book readings and book signings at the Liberty Books, which is also out here in Lawrenceville. It's a Christian store, so we can't really introduce touched in that environment, but we can definitely do some book signings and some readings for how to secure scholarship money for college. And of course, for trucking across America. So we'll do trucking across America, book signings and readings for kids at Liberty Books, and we'll do book signings and book readings in the succession dates. We're still working on that with Barnes and Noble, but we'll be doing that for Touched, how to secure scholarship money for college, and also trucking across America at Barnes and Noble. And we're still working on another vendor called Books a Million, which is also in Lawrenceville, and of course they're headquartered out of Alabama. We'll be talking to the leadership from that particular company, Books a Million, to secure book readings and signings for them at Books a Million. Anyway, just wanted to give you an update on this. I'm really looking forward to doing book signings of book readings for Touched at the Barnes and Noble out here in, I guess it's Snellville. It's like on the border of Snellville and Lawrenceville. Anyway, we'll give you the time and the date once we secure those dates and times. Okay, but we're excited about Touched in all of our other books, and so please make sure that you stay tuned to the book signing and book reading events. And as soon as we secure dates and times, we will let you know when those are so that you can come out. All right, so let's move on. My latest book offerings, that we've already mentioned them just a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and talk about it now. Now, I want to talk about this particular offering, and the reason I want to do this is because this book has been written with the use of AI. It took me only 5 days to write this book. It's around 50 pages. It only took 5 days. And this is, of course, my latest offering, also on Amazon.com. If you go to our website, that's www.christopherstudios.net, you'll find this on the website. And of course, it's for sale on Amazon.com. You can get this book and all of our books that I write on Amazon.com. You can either get the electronic version, which you can probably put on a Kindle or any one of your tablets that you might own, or you could go ahead and order the paperback. Now, of course, a lot of you already know how Dr. C is. He likes to have a book in his hand. I'm old school like that, so you can definitely do that as well. But it is available in both formats. Okay. If you have a new college student, and I had already mentioned this, my daughter Simone wants to go to college. So if you have a student who wants to go to college and you do not want to take out any student loans, this is the book for you. This gives you a step-by-step format in terms of how to secure scholarship money for your new college student. And by the way, we are going to be using this book to secure scholarship money for my daughter as well. And as we go step by step on how to do that, and we have success in doing so, we're going to share those moments of success with you so that you can do the same for your brand new college student. Now, I am going to go out on a limb and say this, that college is important for every new high school graduate. Now, when I say college, I'm talking about secondary education, whether you're going into the trades or whether or not you want to go and get yourself a bachelor's degree. This book is good for both of that, right? So you'll definitely want to tune in and learn a little bit more about this book. Go out, buy it on Amazon.com. It is available for sale right now. And if you have new college students who want to go to college, but don't want to come out or graduate from college with all this student loan debt, then this book is for you. No one, in my opinion, should ever have to take out student loans. And I'm going to tell you the other reason why I don't think students should be taking out loans is because I believe college should be free for every citizen that lives in this country. That's my opinion. It should be free. And the reason why it should be free is because the new talent that is coming out of high school and going into college and graduating from college is the workforce that we need to move into the future. And how in the world is a student graduating from college is going to be able to fulfill their dreams and their aspirations if they are buried, literally buried under a mountain of student loan debt? You don't want that for your new college students. I don't want that. So this book will show you the way to make sure you secure scholarship money so that these students will not have to incur a lot of student loan debt. Okay, we don't want that happening. Moving on. Yes. So I've been talking about trucking across America for quite some time. And I am absolutely proud to say that this book is finally going to be coming out this week. I am absolutely proud. And I know pride could be a sin, but I am so proud of the fact that I went on ahead and took the risk of making sure that this book gets out. Trucking Across America is going to be a big hit for kids and parents. And I want to make sure that I share this beautiful book. The illustrations are flat out fire. It is a great book. It is a truck driver, trucker man, and his trusted truck, Diesel, which is what you see right there. I'm so excited. Are going to be taking kids across America, showing this country to young students who may or may not get a chance to view the country with their own very eyes. This will give them the opportunity to see what this country has to offer, from all of the great cities that are in the country, all the wonderful state and national parks that are in the country, and not only that, a little bit of the history of the country as well. We will also be following up this project, Trucking Across America, with in each individual state, trucking across each state, which will give you a little bit more depth for students and for parents to learn about the state that they live in. And trust me when I tell you, each state has something fantastic about them. The other reason why this book is so important is because it gives students and parents, of school age, elementary school to middle school kids, to learn about the trucking industry. I'm not going to lie to you. I've always wanted to learn how to drive a big rig. Yes, it's always been something I always wanted to do. And when I was a very, very young man graduating from high school, I actually wanted to go and get my commercial driver license, CDLA, Class A, to learn how to drive a truck and see the country. Not only see the country, be able to see all of North America, right? We're talking about Canada and Mexico as well. That would have been a great deal for a young man 18, 19, 20 years old. Of course, my mom said no. She said, you're going to go to college. I went to college, and of course, my path ended up being deviated from what I really wanted to do. I ended up going into the military, spent about 12 years, United States Coast Guard. Went on ahead, got my degrees, got a bachelor's, a couple of masters, and the doctorate, and all of the good stuff. But eventually, I still ended up coming back to where I really wanted to be, and that is to be able to drive a big rig in this country and see the country. It has been always been a lifelong dream of mine, and now I have attained it. And now I want to share that experience with you, with kids. The kids are going to love this book, and parents are going to be ecstatic about what's in it and what's going to be in the subsequent offerings that we come up after Trucking Across America. I cannot wait to get this book out on the market. And yes, we're going to offer this children's book to school districts all across the country. We're going to get it in different languages. It's a big deal. And by the way, this particular journey could end up in toys. That's right, toys, cartoons, yes, animated series, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's how big it is. And Amazon Publishing has taken a chance on me to get this published and marketed. They believe in this project as well. So I know it's going to be a big deal, and I can't wait to share it with you. So that's Trucking Across America. Let's get to the movie Sinners. Of course, it's from the director Ryan Coogler, also starring Michael B. Jordan, who is a great actor, by the way. I love Michael B. Jordan. You've seen him in a lot of different movies and film, but this is his latest. And there is a lot to talk about when it comes to Sinners. Now, if you haven't seen the film yet, I'm not going to give you a whole lot of information, but I do want to talk about the film just a little bit and what I believe, or what I think, that the producers, the director, and the actors were actually trying to convey to the viewers of the film. Now, Michael B. Jordan plays two characters, and they are the two of the main characters that are in the film. I don't want to give out too much. But yeah, he plays two characters, and they happen to be twins, twin brothers, or the main characters of the film. But this young man here with the guitar is the one who is really astonishing in terms of what the film is all about. To me, this is about the African American experience during Jim Crow, and the importance of music, the blues, in fact, the importance of music to the African American experience during the Jim Crow era. It, in my opinion, music, the blues, jazz, we don't care what kind of music it is, funk, we don't care. Black music has been the lifeline to our survival in this country. It has not only been a lifeline, it has been the what I would call the avenue to escape from the realities of what it meant to be Black in America back during the Jim Crow era. I hate to tell you this, but the Jim Crow era, the Jim Crow South, was, if you lived in the South during this period, it was like living in a prison. Like living in a prison. And everybody, and I'm talking about white folks and the Jim Crow South, wanted to make sure that you, an African American, a Black person in the Jim Crow South, or a Black person in America, they wanted to make sure that you knew your place. But what's interesting about the film is that the music is the actual star of this film. And the reason why I say that the music is the star of this film, it is in fact the actual, what should I say, the actual gift that was coveted by everybody else who was not Black. Let me say that again. The gift, the music produced by Black Americans was coveted by all of those who were not Black. And they would have done anything. And I do mean anything to get it, to call it their own. However, the film kind of lets all of us know that the music resides with us. And you cannot separate the music or the Black experience from each other, no matter how hard you try. You're not going to be able to do it. And I believe that is exactly what the film is all about. Yes, white America has appropriated Black music decade after decade after decade, and they're still doing it today. They have appropriated the Black experience for their own financial gain again and again and again and again. And there is no secret to that, by the way. However, even though they have appropriated this, it's still not theirs. It belongs to us. And the title of the film, Sinners, who exactly are the sinners in the film? I'm going to allow you to decide that for yourself, but I already know who the sinners are. And they are not these people. These people are not the sinners. Believe you me. These people, these beautiful Black people in this film are not the sinners. I'm going to let you figure that out for yourself. And here's something else I wanted to kind of give you a general idea, right, of what we're talking about. And the reason why they'll never, ever be able to extinguish they will never be able to extinguish the unbelievable history of Black people on this planet. Not just here in America, but on this planet. The Black diaspora is everywhere. And it is in terms of a cultural giving, right? Our cultural center stone, right, if you will, is everywhere. It's not just loved by us, but it's loved by everyone, whether you want to admit to it or not. And it belongs to us. Now, yesterday, and this is the other reason why I wanted to kind of hold off and doing this broadcast, because yesterday I learned something. I learned that during the early part of the 18th century in the 1720s, etc., that there was a historian that I was watching yesterday, and she was talking about the inoculation movement of smallpox in America in the 1720s. And there was an actual controversy that plagued early America in the early 1700s during the 1720s when a couple of medical professionals and scientists that were trying to inoculate colonial America, white colonial America at the time, and they were not in favor of being inoculated. And the main reason why they didn't want to do it is because the science of inoculation came from Africa and Asia. Make no mistake about it, back in the early 1700s or even beyond or before that, smallpox was a problem for humanity, especially Europeans. People would get sick and they would die. However, what they found, these scientists, these medical professionals that were trying to figure out a way to eradicate smallpox in colonial America of the 1700s, found that the African slaves during this time when they would have a smallpox outbreak would not get sick, or if they did get sick, they didn't stay sick very long. And the reason why is because Africans were practicing inoculation long before these Europeans decided that this was a good idea. Now, I'm telling you this story for a reason, and the reason is this. The reason why white colonial Americans at the time were not in favor of inoculation because they didn't trust it, because it is something that originated in Africa and in Asia, which, by the way, white America during that time thought were inferior to them. They thought that Africans and people from Asia were inferior to them. And because they were against this idea of inoculation, lots of white Americans died from smallpox because they could not get over the idea of their white privilege. Why do I share this story with you? And why do I share this story with you in relations to sinners? Well, it's this. White America still today believes that they are superior to everybody else. But yet at the same time, they try to appropriate everything else, that every cultural aspect from Black America, Asian America, Hispanic America, Native America, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They try to appropriate everything from all of these different cultures in America to make it their own, but yet at the same time call themselves superior to everyone else. I ask you, who do you think really is superior? I'm not going to give you an answer. This is a rhetorical question for you to ask yourself. I would say, in fact, that no one is superior. Okay. I will go on the record and say that every human being is equal to each other human being on this planet. No one is superior. Every human being on this planet has something to offer to our global cultural eat it, right? I mean, everyone has something to offer. Everyone. But we've been fighting with this question for quite some time. Who is superior? Europeans, white folks have been telling themselves that for years. that they are superior. And it is a lie. It's a lie. No one's superior. And not only that, they have gone out of their way to make sure that everyone else, particularly Black folks on this planet, Black folks in America, that their stories do not get told. Why? Because the stories that we tell, the truth, does not fit their narrative. That is what Sinners is all about. And it is, the truth is spoken through the music. It's spoken through the music. Okay. I urge you to go and see this film. I am going to go see it again. This will be my second time to go see it. Of course, I know friends of mine who have gone 2, 3, 4 times to go see this film, and they have seen something different, something even more astonishing than the last, right? Every time they've gone to see the film. That's why I want to go see it again. So I urge you to definitely, if you haven't seen it yet, take your loved one, your significant other, go see the film. Yes, you might even want to take some of your young children, not really, really young children, but probably your I won't say preteen, but your young teenagers can go see this film too. It's very important. Yes, it could be a little bit racy. I believe this film is rated R, but you need to get by. You need to get by the idea that it's rated R, because then you'll miss out on what the story is all about, what the truth is that is being broadcast by the film. So go see the film. It's got what, 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. The critics are raving about it. I believe that this film is or should win a lot of awards, Golden Globes and Academies. Of course, we know that the Academy has a tendency to pick films that no one has ever seen, nor do they care about, and they always seem to overlook the really good films, especially when it comes to films that are done by Black directors and actors, right? I mean, I'm not going to get my hopes up too high about the award season, but it should be nominated. That's my opinion. Anyway, go see Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan. There's a lot of great singing, a lot of great music, a lot of great acting, and yes, the music is out of this world. There is one particular scene that just really blew my mind, but I can't talk about it too much. But the music is insane. That you wouldn't think that was really insane, but it is. Go see the film Sinners. Moving on to our next slide, I would talk about Sinners for a lot longer, but like I said, we need time to talk about some of the other things that we got going on. So we're going to talk about the news now. And yeah, the news is yes, it's about Trump. I'm going to say this first of all. Trump makes news every day, every day of every week, right? Sometimes even every hour. He is what we would say he's flooding the zone. But all of the news is bad. And I don't want to dwell too much on the news, because everything that comes out of the news that involves Trump and his regime, it's all bad. All of it's bad. We know this. You know it. We know that Trump posted a picture of himself as being the Pope. Who does such things? Yes, he is one of the probably the most racist people on the planet. And yeah, he is trying to institute all of these racial ideas into the federal government. And yes, we still must resist him at every turn. Okay, We all have to do it. Black folks as well. We all have to resist. We have to resist this movement of hate at every turn. Okay? It's absolutely necessary for all of us to do it. Yes, Saturday Night Live makes fun of them. It seems like they make fun of him every week. And yes, it's funny. We've had protests, very big protests over the past couple of months. Although I haven't seen a really big protest here for weeks. And I think it's time we do another one because we have to keep the pressure on. We have to keep the pressure on. I believe Trump's regime is going to collapse under its own weight of stupidity. I believe that Trump's regime is going to collapse under its own weight of hate. It is going to collapse under its own weight of incompetence. It's going to happen. But it is up to us to make sure that it happens in the fastest way possible. It has to happen in the fastest way possible. We have to keep up the pressure. We have to keep protesting. We have to keep boycotting. Now, I don't know if any of y'all know this, but this trade war that he has started is already starting to show signs of high prices and empty shelves at your favorite grocery store or favorite retail outlet. And it's going to get worse. This regime needs to be removed from power as fast as possible. It's not just Trump, it's all of them. It's Trump, it's JD Vance, it's Elon Musk, who they've already kicked out. He's going back to the private sector, but he's still part of it. It's all of them. It's Kash Patel. I mean, all of these people are extremely extremely extreme. Sorry, y'all. Or super extreme, right? And they are as incompetent as they come. They have to go. I don't want to harp too much about the news because all of it is bad. But we, the American people, have to keep up the pressure to make sure that these people are removed, i.e., via impeachment, a coup. I don't care how it's done, that it needs to be done. Okay. Of course, I do not advocate violence. Never have, never will. But it might take some extreme measures in order to remove these people from power. He ain't going to go without a fight. I'm just let y'all all know that. He ain't leaving without a fight. So guess what? We may need to fight to get him removed from power. This picture of him, the person of the year from Time, dressed up as Hitler. Well, guess what? Hitler was killed. It took a world war to remove him. I just watched this film yesterday called Civil War. I've been very reluctant to watch the film because I didn't want to watch it because they were glorifying an extreme presidency, i.e., Donald Trump, right? I broke down yesterday. I decided to go ahead and watch it, and it was compelling. It was compelling in terms of what it might take for us to remove this idiot from power. Watch the film. It's interesting. I'm just going to say it's interesting. It's called Civil War. It's an interesting film. Watch the interesting dynamics of the people who live in the country. You'll want to watch it. I think it's interesting. Watch it for yourself. We'll discuss. Anyway, that's Trump news. Don't want to talk too much about him. Well, there's going to be plenty news moving forward from here, obviously. So we're going to sign off here. We want to thank you for joining us for this week's broadcast. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And of course, we'll put this up on YouTube. We'll put it in our Podbean podcasts, et cetera. And we will definitely stay in touch with you. Thank you for joining us, and please stay tuned on social media with us to learn a little bit more about the books that are being written by Dr. C. And we want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you hopefully later on in the week. Y'all guys have a great afternoon.